Hello bass family and welcome to Everything Bass. We're moving on today with Hyperneck Study Unit 11. Before going there, I want to explain that, hey, yeah, the yellow Warwick Dolphin bass is back. And that's because of a comment that one of your family members made to one of the videos. I'd been using my Warwick thumb 4-string bass for a lot of the videos. Now, unfortunately, there are no fretboard markers on that. So it was confusing to him. He thought it'd be helpful if there was a bass I could use that would show the actual positions of the instrument, and I agree completely. I'm more comfortable on the thumb bass, and I played it longer, so that's one of the reasons why I gravitate towards it. But I have no problem. I'll use this bass until I can get another 4-string that has fret markers. So anyway, let's move on. With this study we're doing today, we're addressing a challenge that a lot of players have. When you're dealing with keys that have multiple accidentals, like today we're doing the key of E flat. The key of E flat has B flat, E flat, and A flat. There's 3 flats in there. Sometimes when you're dealing with keys with three accidentals, 4 accidentals, 5 accidentals, it can get intimidating and can affect maybe the way you express on the instrument. I found that the best way to eliminate that fear factor is to work that key into an exercise. So that's what we're doing today. We are going to take a familiar Hyperneck Study pattern, do one little tweak to it, and put it in the key of E flat. So let's start. So in the first position, we actually are starting on E flat. Now, one thing that should be noted when you are doing a Hyperneck Study and you start on the tonic of the key you're in this case, we're in the key of E flat, we're starting on E flat. The first 3 notes on that string will be all whole steps, and on the next string, all whole steps. Now, in this case, let me say the notes so I can prove my point. Make sure you check my work. E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C. Okay, so those are our accidentals. But for the sake of this particular version of Hyperneck, we're going to play the G string notes descending. So that looks like this. Okay? Now, when we shift to the second position, we're going to be going, or the second pattern, we're going F, G, A flat. Then we have to shift up to the D because D isn't flatted in this key. D, C, and then go down to B flat. So that looks like this. Okay? Then, of course, we shift up and we're going to play G, A flat, B flat. But now we can just stay right here. E flat, D, C. So the first 3 shifts are this way. Now, as I mentioned in the last unit, for the sake of demonstrating this, I'm going to stop there. And that's not out of laziness. Well, maybe 5% laziness. No, it's really seriously because I'm afraid that by demonstrating these patterns on the video and going all the way up to match the written music, you might just match the patterns and memorize the whole steps, half steps, and not really think about the notes. And that's really robbing you of the real value of this exercise. So I encourage you, take this exercise with what you've known so far if you've gone through all the Hyperneck studies and apply it to E flat major, making sure that every time you find a B, E, or A, you flat them, which is move them down a half step, and go as high as you can on your bass. Go to your last fret and see what that is. Now, when you've done that, if you feel like, you know, I'll probably ultimately get to it in a future video, but if you feel like it, you of course can move it to the A string and the D string, the E string and the A string, always adjusting the notes you play to fit the key we're in. If you can do this long enough, you're going to find that the key of E flat is not really that tricky. It's something you can adapt to, and again, you're expanding your musicality with your bass in your hands and doing a focused study. So let me know what you think about this, trying it out. Now, obviously, you know that probably the next one I'm going to do is going to be the key of A, and I'll have 3 sharps there. So we're going to be kind of doing things where I'm going to expand and get all nutty so it can address all your improv in different keys. Perfect. All right, now let's move on to the Hyperneck study. And it's at the album by the band Yes called 90125. What a great album. I know I say that at the beginning of everything, but I wouldn't choose it if it's an album I don't like. But yeah, Yes's 90125. Trevor, the guitar player, I know there's a big division between people that like the Steve Howe era, and even some go back to the Hackett era, and then people that like than people that are saying, no, I like the middle section with Trevor on guitar and doing the production. And I don't think you have to say one's better than the other. I really think that if you just address the music by itself, don't compare it to another form of the band, and listen to it with open ears, then you can avoid all that kind of whatever that is. This album's great. Chris Squire's phenomenal. Songwriting's great. The production values are huge. The songs are so cool. We always think of Owner of a Lonely Heart, Leave It. But there's a song called It Can Happen, which is just brilliant. And it's a song of hope and optimism, which if you're feeling particularly down, listen to it. And really listen to what the words are and get into the groove. It's a great song. Then also you can jump down to City of Love, one of the tracks on there. I love this. In fact, I'm going to kind of put a little addendum or a little add-on here, and that's check out the live concert. You should be able to find it somewhere, streaming or buy it. And it's Yes 9012 Live. And the live DVD is brilliant. I really like it. I love, they do some classic Yes songs, but the version of City of Love they do in the intro is so dramatic. It's I think what really drew me to loving the song. And of course, Chris Squire, he's one of our founding fathers, man. He's a progressive rock genius. And I really think that putting on some headphones, getting deep into this album, really listen to it, listen to how he composed his bass line, why he made certain decisions, try to get in his head a little bit. And I think then it'll, by osmosis, probably get into your musicality, which is a good thing. Learn from our masters, man. All right, so we have Hyperneck Study Unit 11. And we have Yes's 90125, and if you can find it, watch the live concert 9012 Live. I really like the Starship Trooper they do in that. That was cool. And I'm a big fan of Trevor's guitar playing. All right, there you guys have it. So if you have any questions, comments, anything you want to add to the discussion, please feel free to in the comments below or emailing me, as I said before. And of course, it would mean so much to me if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. When you subscribe to the YouTube channel, it's free. It just basically says if you do that and hit the bell notification right next to it, the little icon, you'll get notified every time I upload videos, which has been every weekend since I started the channel. And then, of course, share it. My goal is to have the family of bass players that I get to talk to and that we get to share ideas with to be as big as possible. So if you found this and you think, oh man, this bass player, my friend would dig it, please share it with me. I'd be honored. Lastly, all of the lessons I have that have written materials, you can get by becoming a Patreon Backstage Pass subscriber. Now, I have a Patreon channel, which is patreon.com/everythingbass. You can, if you want to just for free, not for free, for $8 a month, you can download every lesson sheet I put up there. And there's nearing 100 now, I believe. And that can be helpful. Like on today's, you can actually see it's written in both tabs, so you can see exactly the frets I'm using, and standard notation. So you would just find the post marked Hyperneck Study Unit 11 and click on the link to download the PDF, print it out, or save it to your device, and then you can really build quite a bit of a big book of curriculum. So I'm not stopping anytime soon. If you don't need the printed music but you want to support the channel, I also put a $1 tip jar on the channel, which means you can just tip me $1, say hi, give me a message. I would love to have it, and it would mean a lot to growing the channel, like getting the lights and getting the new mics and all that thing. It's really, your support financially has really helped grow the channel. All right, guys, so that's it. Hyperneck Study Unit 11, Yes's 90125. Thank you so much for checking it out, and I will see you at the next video.